conferences and exhibitions, we specialize in executing high profile corporate events across various industries. Our dedicated team of professionals ensures every detail is meticulously planned, delivering seamless and unforgettably worth the experience. From conferences and corporate meetings to team building retreats, product launches, and large scale public events, we bring innovation, precision, and excellence at Thai events. We don't just plan events, we create experiences.
My name is Lucy Wanjau. I am the CEO, Target Mart Limited. Target Mart Limited is an FMCG distribution business, currently franchising and distributing for Zara Cosmetics in Kenya. So the challenge was the business, really. You know, I happened to grow a business over the last 5 years. And then one day, not one day, like over a period of time, I was just having challenges. One day it's consignment clearing, another day is HR, another day is a different thing. And I got to a point where I was just telling my husband, I'm ready to just close the doors and go home and raise my children. And then I started interacting with the Sandbox experts after that. During one of my interactions, I interacted with Kirinya, one of the directors of Wild, who introduced and recommended that I attend Scalarizer. I have learned how to identify the customer and how to speak to the customer. I mean, not just the customer, but how do then you get to your target market? How do you speak to them? What language are they going to hear? And so that has led to, smaller resources going to the right direction and reaching the right client and bigger impact with less resources. I attended a one-day workshop with other entrepreneurs conducted by the best trainers, I believe, very clear on, strategy being a response and not a reaction. And going through Scalarizer helped me be very specific on what are the pain points and being prepared. It would be very difficult to say I'm at 10%, 20% implementation of everything I needed to do. I now have a fully implemented ERP system, and I have an outsourced HR person who has helped and trained the team on onboarding, managing resources, being HR, contracting, having specific job descriptions and performance reviews every so often for the team. Have I tried others? Maybe at the time of struggling and thinking how you can get yourself out of the problem, I tried thinking of probably setting up a board of directors. And so I had done this course for board readiness, and then Scalarizer made it even different by showing me not just getting other people on board who might just struggle as much without systems, and it was simpler just setting up the systems first, which is interesting because the systems have been able to resolve all those issues that we were having. I would very much recommend Scalarizer to business owners. So would I still do it 5 years in? I would. And even better then, when you already have built and the issue is probably laying down the structures. So it still works for both, whether you're starting the business and you want to come up with a strategy, identify what you need to invest in to achieve the overall goal that you're trying to achieve. I would recommend it.
Welcome to Thai Events, your premier partner in corporate event planning and management. With over a decade of experience in meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, We specialize in executing high profile corporate events across various industries. Our dedicated team of professionals ensures every detail is meticulously planned, delivering seamless and unforgettably worth the experience. From conferences and corporate meetings to team building retreats, product launches, and large scale public events, we bring innovation, precision, and excellence at Thai events. We don't just plan events, we create experiences.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Where you are? You could type in the chat box to tell us how your morning is coming along. Yes, welcome very much to the Business Game Plan 2025 workshop. This is a joint initiative by Wild International and Thai Events. And really, wish to thank you very much for dedicating your time to be part of this program. I'm calling it a program because this is going to be the beginning of many and a long journey and many other transformative sessions that will be ahead of us. I'm still looking forward to seeing good morning greetings in the chat. Good morning, good morning. And as we proceed to kick off our program, great, thank you very much. Good morning. I'm seeing good mornings coming. Thank you. Yes, my name is Boniface Moema Harrison. I'm the Business Development Manager at Thai Events, and I will be your moderator for the day. I'm looking forward to having a great session with you. And to reiterate, this program is one of your best choices and investments for this year, because our goal is generally to support business people and entrepreneurs to understand their businesses better and to come up with working strategies for their businesses. Sometimes when especially entrepreneurs are starting up, the challenges are there when people are doing everything, there's no sense of clear direction, and that becomes a challenge because time sometimes is wasted, resources are wasted, and that is why we have this program to ensure that we equip you with knowledge, skills, and resources that you need to ensure that anytime you're doing business, you have a clear focus and direction as to how you're going to invest your energy and resources. And so we'll kick off with a round of introductions. I'm very pleased to start to see your good mornings. It seems the morning is very good. I also apologize to those who thought that the event was physical. There's someone who had dressed very well going to a physical event. Luckily, they called and we agreed to meet on Zoom. I believe this is a better platform where we can meet with more convenience. So to start off, in this session, we'll be joined by yourselves, esteemed guests from different uh, ventures and fields in entrepreneurship. We also have our partners and sponsors here. We have Answer Africa And we also have our facilitator. Our facilitators are here who will be taking us through expert knowledge and how best entrepreneurs can come up with working strategies. We also have our convening partners who are Thai Events and Wild International. And it's my humble pleasure now to welcome Wild International to introduce themselves and welcome us to the workshop as well and tell us a bit about themselves. Wild International, welcome. Hello. Right. I can see Chris, you are muted. Great. Karibu sana.
Yes, good morning. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me and for having me on this call. We are so excited to be hosting this webinar in partnership with Thai Events. Good morning, everybody. If you're tuning in from Nairobi, it's a good morning to you. If you're tuning in from other parts of the world, then it could be a good afternoon or a good evening. In any case, we are delighted that you could take time to come and join us here. So first off, I like to tell entrepreneurs, give yourself a round of applause. Because we are online, just do it virtually. Go to the chat box and just give yourself a round of applause. You could have been anywhere else other than here, binge watching Netflix or scrolling on TikTok, but you have chosen to invest in your business. And that's a true entrepreneur move. I'm very excited. My name is Chris Odongo, as you've heard. Serve as a CEO at Wild International. I'm very passionate about working with business owners and helping them to grow their businesses. At Wild, we help you grow. We don't believe in vibes. We want you to be structured, want you to be scalable, and want you to be successful. Think about us as your business GPS. And just today morning, I was thinking, business doesn't have to be like a game of snakes and ladders, where at one point you're climbing, at another point the snake has swallowed you and you're coming down. Business needs to be predictable. Business growth needs to be dependable. And so we will help you navigate through those twists and turns of entrepreneurship so that you don't end up getting swallowed by the snake. And you actually keep finding ladders. Those ladders at Wild International and at Thai Events, those are your business coaches, those are your strategists, and they will help you figure out ideas and initiatives that can take you quickly to the next level. You will skip all the other players in the game that are stuck. And today's webinar is aptly the business game plan. And it's not just a game, it's a game plan. It's making sure that into 2025, you're not stumbling around trying to figure out how do I succeed. No, it's about working smart, and it's about getting things right the first time. So in this session, we are going to look at the gaps. We are going to look at a strategy that actually works, and we're going to help you figure out how do I set a plan that I can be able to track its progress. And when we come to the end of 2025 in December, you can look back and say, you know what, I navigated this game of snakes and ladders, and I came out on top as the winner. And I was actually able to do it quite fast. If you've ever played a game of snakes and ladders, you know you want to avoid the snake at number 98. That one sets you back a big what happened to you. Huge shout out to Thai Events, our partner. Answer, you guys are the real MVPs. Really happy and excited to have you on board with us. For the 30 plus entrepreneurs who are here with us, I mean, this was for you. And we are very excited that you took time away from working in your business to working on your business. So grab your notebook, or at least if you are digitally savvy, open your note app, and let's build a winning game plan for 2025. For the team at Wild, thank you so much for putting this together. This is exciting stuff, and I look forward to us having more and more of this. Over to you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Chris. Let us appreciate Chris with a round of applause. You can make use of the reactions icon on your screen. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Chris has reminded us that this year is not just the game, it is the game with a plan. And I think we all agree with having a game with a plan. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, put another round of applause as we welcome TAI Events. Karibu sana.
Great. Thank you so much, Boniface. I'm very excited to meet everyone here today. Very glad that entrepreneurs are energetic about building their businesses, doing things differently, being structured, building better and causing more impact in 2025. So very excited to join us today. My name is Eugene Mushai from TAI Events. I'd like to welcome each and every one of us to this great webinar. Very good launch of the year to basically talk about strategy, to talk about planning. It is always said that without strategy, execution is aimless. And without execution, strategy is useless. So today's session is to tell us about how to be structured, how to be better, and how to do it better. A big appreciation to our partners, Wild International, ANSA, and everyone who is present here. So at TAI Events, we organize, we plan, and we manage corporate events focused on technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are big on executing collaborative platforms or networking platforms for business people to meet, exchange ideas, and build each other for better. That's what we do at TAI Events. We normally have entrepreneurship events throughout the year. One that is coming up is the Nairobi Startup Summit, and we are hoping that every one of us will have a chance to attend the Nairobi Startup Summit this coming April as we build more into our strategy and collaborations in the business ecosystem. So thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful time during this session, and a big appreciation to everyone and our partners as well. Thank you. Back to you, Boniface.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Eugene, the CEO of TAI Events. Eugene has left us with a word saying that without a strategy, execution is aimless. And without execution, a strategy is useless. Great. Thank you so much. As I proceed to welcome our facilitator for the first session. Yeah, great. That was a punchline, eh? I can see people applauding still. Great. I would encourage all of us to be very engaged in this session. Make it this session your own. We understand that there are diverse situations, challenges, opportunities that you are looking at tapping in your business. And so we would like very much for you to benefit the most from this session and ensure that it works for the success of your business, and ensure that the skills, the knowledge that is shared here applies to your business. That is our joy. And so we would like you to prepare your questions, your case studies, your insights, your perspectives, so that when we head to the session where facilitation is conducted, you are well involved and engaged throughout the session. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you will allow me to read the bio of our facilitator. And Lois is a skilled professional who is dedicated in assisting entrepreneurship to maximize their potential. She is an entrepreneur, a project management professional, business strategist, and a certified coach, currently working with Wild International, is a lead strategy consultant. As a lead consultant and with years of hands-on experience, she greatly understands the challenges of building and sustaining a thriving business. Drawing on a wealth of vast industry knowledge, she is committed to delivering transformative, meaningful outcomes that truly make a difference for our clients. Lois has worked extensively with startup and growth stage entrepreneurs, conducting hands-on business workshops, webinars, and training sessions with organizations such as Strathmore University, KEPSA, Pollinate Impact, Equity Group Foundation, KCB Business Club, and more. Beyond group engagements, she has collaborated directly with entrepreneurs in different regions and sectors to refine their business models, steer them through key strategic decision-making processes to develop impactful strategies, enhance operational efficiency, and access finance. Our approach is one that delivers practical insights and applications that give them the tools they need to succeed in today's competitive landscape. While away from work, she's indulging in her passion to keep learning through documentaries or is somewhere outdoors enjoying quality time with family and friends. She is devoted to supporting the growth of SMEs in Africa and believes that entrepreneurship and innovation play a significant role in accelerating social progress. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together and welcome Lois to deliver our presentation for the first session. Karibu sana, Lois, and take us through the session.
All right.
Business model mapping. She's giving us
Thank
business
you.
model mapping. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Boniface. And thank you for that introduction. I am very privileged to be conducting this session today, or rather facilitating this session today. It's always a pleasure to meet entrepreneurs and to, think about what to do or work on the business. And so allow me to share my screen. Perhaps maybe what I could maybe start with is people can share on the chat what they're looking forward to or what they're expecting. Feel free. I'm intending for this to be a very engaging session. So please, this is not a lecture. So engage as much as possible. We would like to answer as many questions as possible today and just guide you in developing the perfect strategy for 2025. So I'll share my screen. I'll use this presentation to help us visualize better what it is that we are talking about today, and we are calling it the Business Game Plan 2025 workshop. This business game plan is basically based off of a strategy that you get to use. And today we want to understand what a strategy is and so many other things in the objectives that I'll share. But just a quick tour of what you're going to do today. Of course, we've been doing some of the introductions. I see this as also an opportunity for you to share what you do, what your business does in the chat. Perhaps there's someone here who might be requiring your services or the products that you have. So feel free to also share your business and your contacts in the chat. And so the first session will just focus on the strategy fundamentals. That is just understanding your business model, understanding what strategy is, understanding what should be on your mind as you're creating a strategy. And then we'll get to session 2 where we guide you to design your own strategy. We'll give you the necessary tools or pointers to what should guide your presentation. And so this is not new for us as well. This is what we do on a daily basis. And Chris has touched a bit on what we do at Wild. But just to elaborate further, Wild is located in Nairobi, Kenya, CMS Africa building in Kilimani. We are an experience consultancy firm. And when I say experience consultancy firm, I'm referring back to 2004 in the business. We work with owner-managed businesses where we give bespoke strategy and business transformation services. So these services, think of it as entrepreneurship development, business coaching, access to finance, support, research, everything that pertains entrepreneurship. All right. And so we have a team of 30 and 50 business coaches in our circles. To date, we have coached 1,000 SMEs, and we have targeted, or rather worked with, over 25,000 entrepreneurs to date. This is either directly or through projects. So just some of the people that we have worked with so far, some of the organizations that have supported entrepreneurship projects, GIZ, UNOS, GAIN, ITC, CELI Africa. CELI Africa is an ongoing program right now, as well as individual businesses such as Parapet, Triple OK, a legal farm located in Nairobi, Kenya as well. Interestingly enough, as you can see on the presentation, we have Sandbox. Sandbox is an innovation of Wild, where we create a one-stop shop for entrepreneur growth solutions. So what you say is this: as you walk in Sandbox, you will find every expert that you need. We have about 35 experts in different fields. If you need legal expert, marketing expert, PR expert, we all have them in the same shop, or rather office. And so Wild will also sit in within the Sandbox to just deliver business model and business strategies. So that is that for Wild. And so let's just now go into then what perhaps is the objectives of this question, or of this session today. So just before we go to the objectives, I'd like for us to take a quick poll question. Let's get to know who is in the room. I'll request my technical team to share the poll questions. We want to see who is in the room. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's understand the people in the room. So you have your first poll question. It's a very simple question. We want to know, what is the stage of your business? Are you in idea stage, startup, growth phase, or are you an already established business? So please feel free to share. Our second question focuses on the industry that you're in. Could be agriculture, retail, technology. And our third question is the number of employees you have. So just looking at the answers that have come through on the poll, 71, okay, about 60 to 70% of us are in the growth phase. Okay, so we have idea stage about 6%, 0 to 3 years, give it an average of 25%, growth phase 55%, and established businesses 10%. Okay, so this is also to say that for whichever stage you're in, you need a strategy. It's not, a strategy is not for, these large organization or corporates, whether you're in idea stage, whether you're in startup, whether you're a growth or already an established business, you need a strategy. And we'll get to understand that further. And so majority of us are in the service industry, but notably so, we also have those in the education industry, 15%, and the technology 10%. So this also tells you as a participant who is in the room, and you now know what you can share. And lastly, our great number of us are either solo entrepreneurs or have 2 to 10 employees. So this also tells the kind of growth we have in the business, and those that are also 11 to 50 years and above 51 employees, we have 5%. So thank you so much for taking that poll. I hope now you get to understand who is in the room, and you're even able to share what it is that you do in your business better. So thank you, technical team, for that. I think I can proceed then with all right. So I'll proceed with the presentation. Okay, all right. So what are our objectives today? We have just 3 major objectives. We want to encourage you entrepreneurs to identify the gaps in your current business model and to also develop actionable solutions. Primarily so, why are we talking about business model? Because it's the foundation. You can have a strategy, but if your business model is not fitting to the markets, yeah, that will not still work. So we want to identify what are these gaps that we have in our business model and perhaps what actions can we take. We also would like to equip you guys with the concept of business strategy. You know, strategy, as it seems, it feels like a very big word, and it seems like, you know, it's just thrown out there. But what is this strategy? You know, how can we unpack the name strategy and understand the different concepts that make up a strategy? And last of our objectives is to just guide you in developing a flexible 2025 strategy. All right. So we are ready to start. I think I'll just start from this point to say that the advanced level is mastery of the basics. So when you are thinking about strategy, we suggest or we recommend that you first understand the basic. You master the basics of the business before you can, move and, add a location or do what, master the basic, because then you are already advanced in the market. So why a strategy? 3 important tasks for strategy. Strategy will answer, you need to figure out where the real opportunity is. And it's at this point that you also take a pen and paper or your notepad or whatever you can use to just jot down these points. It will be important that you develop as we go. So the important task of strategy is to identify the real opportunity in the market. Okay. You also want to establish what it will take to benefit from the opportunity, that this is the market, this is what the market is demanding, this is the value that you're providing, but what will it take for you, to deliver on that? How will you benefit from the real opportunity that we are talking about? And granted, we need to address any challenges that may arise as we take advantage of the opportunity. We say it's nice to be optimistic, but strategy wants to focus also on you predetermining the challenges that can come in the business. And so this allows you to mitigate as early as possible, or just address it more efficiently, because you already saw it coming. You had already laid out a mitigation plan for it. So have a look at the next word. Maybe I'll allow for someone to unmute. I want you to let me know what you think the connection between these words are. So tech team, if someone could raise their hand, or you could also add in your chat. We have response, challenges, opportunities, internal, external, present, future. So what do you think is the connection between these words? Please share on the chat. I'll read them out loud, or you could also raise your hand and you could be unmuted. Bonnie, please let me know if there's a hand up or there's a chat.
Okay, let me see. Mm-hmm.
What is the connection between these words that we see on the screen? Response, challenges, opportunities, internal, external, present, and future. What do you think the connection is? We have Karen.
This seems to be a hot one, eh?
Yeah. No, Karen has her hand up if we could
Okay.
help
Karen can go.
unmute.
Yeah, Karen can go and give us the the perspective. Karen, you can unmute. Okay, let me see if there is anything technical. Jesse, you can
Okay.
support.
All right. So tech team,
Yeah.
please. Oh,
I can see there are some chats. I can see Lucy Njeri's. Okay, yeah, chats are coming. I can see Stella is saying that all words are related to what happens in our businesses. Karen Karanji is saying I'm not able to access the unmute pad on my end. Okay, that will be sorted
all
by
right. So
the technical team.
sure.
We have another one. Lucy is saying what happens to the business daily. And Shayla Njao says that they all relate or affect a business.
Right.
Do you have any
Great.
other one? Let me see if we have another one. Yeah,
Lois.
I see there are new ones. Karen, you can talk now. You have been allowed.
Unmuted, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
Hi,
Karen.
Lois. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Oh,
Please
amazing.
share.
So don't mind my voice. I have a little flu.
I'm sorry about
So,
that, but we can hear you. Yeah.
okay, amazing. So for me, these words, how we can connect them on the business world and even on our day-to-day life is how you get to respond to the challenges that you face. If you respond to the challenges positively, then you will be able to get opportunities both internal and externally at where you're at right now and both at the future. So if you get to connect them, it's basically how we are able to bring ideas from the challenges that our business face. And from there, we get to create opportunities both for ourselves and even for business at large now and even at the future. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Wow, that was brilliant, eh?
That was
Is,
brilliant. And
is it the answer?
yeah,
Is it the correct answer?
it is. And also, as
Oh,
well as
right.
everyone else who has answered on the chat, yes, they all relate to business. And Karen's answer is actually just the definition of what strategy is. So a strategy is a response of the challenges and opportunities to address internal and external realities and enable us to plan for the present and the future. Yeah. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that. And the reason why we are describing what a strategy is because there are so many books out there. There are so many resources out there that can define strategy as whatever, use different words. But for the purpose of today's session, we want to describe strategy and we want to look at strategy as a response to an opportunity or a challenge taking into account internal or external realities to move the present to a desired future. So our key word here is response. Yeah, because if you're not responding, then perhaps you're reacting. But you see, with a response, you're already looking at the subject matter, you're already analyzing from a bird's eye view and figuring out what you're going to do, or what opportunities or what challenges perhaps you're facing. You're already looking at a desired future. So when we say a response, it means you are proactive in addressing the market needs, okay? And just to even make this more interesting, a lot of words are confused for strategy. We have strategies, we have plans, we have different tactics. Yeah. So is there a difference between a strategy and a plan? Is there a difference between a plan and a tactic? Yeah. So we need to be very clear on what is a strategy, what is a plan, and what is a tactic. All these things are different. Yeah, it is possible to have a plan without a strategy, and that is where Eugene mentioned, you'd be executing everywhere. you know. It's possible to have a strategy without a plan, but it is not recommended. For every strategy that you have, it is recommended that you get to have a plan. So while strategy is a response, it tells us of the market, it tells us where is the opportunity, it tells us how do we win the market, how it describes the value you're going to provide. It helps us think through the value you're going to provide. It helps us think on how we are going to win the market. It's the what will get us in the market, what will sustain us in the market. Whereas a plan on the other side talks about the how. So this is how we are going to do this. It talks about the how of the strategy, and the tactic just describes specific actions that we can take towards the plan. So to help us understand better, think of a furniture business, somewhere in Nairobi. And this furniture business could say, our strategy is to position the business as a premium provider of custom luxury furniture items in Nairobi, specifically targeting high net worth home owners or commercial institutional businesses. So that is high level strategy. We want to position ourselves in the market a certain way. The value we are bringing is the customizing, the luxurious, the premium furniture that then we are offering. How are we going to win this? We are going to target high net worth homeowners and commercial businesses or commercial institutions. So that is high level strategy. The plan, on the other hand, would be perhaps we could launch a flagship showroom somewhere premium, somewhere we can access these people. We can maybe offer personalized design consultation. So it is telling us how then do we get to win this market of how then do we get to establish or implement this positioning of the business. And then a tactic in such a case would look like, let's run social media ads, or maybe let's offer a limited promotion on the furniture that we have. So these tactics are used to entice the client into the plan of, we are launching the showroom, so let's just have promotions. But the higher goal is they are trying to position themselves into somewhere. So if for nothing else, you have to capture that a strategy and a plan is not the same thing, as well as a tactic. So with that in mind, I'd like for us to take the next poll question with that description, with the understanding that the explanation that I've given. Tech team, please share poll question 4. Great. Okay, so let's just answer the question on. So classify what you have been using to guide your business. Is it a strategy? Is it a plan? Is it tactics? Given the explanation that I've given, what have you been using? How can you describe what you've been using? Tactics, please. Okay. All right. Okay, they're just coming in. We also have a second question, a second poll question over there. And the numbers are still moving. The numbers are still moving. Right. So 50% of us, or rather 52% of us, are saying we've been using tactics. Perhaps those are social media and all that. 48% are saying we have been using a plan, and 38% using the strategy. Perhaps we should have even asked this question before before explaining that. But yes, so there is a difference, and that is why we are here. So the most important thing for you is to understand, as an entrepreneur, is for you to understand what are you trying to achieve with that tactic? What are you trying to achieve with this plan? Yeah, do you have an overall goal, a long-term goal? And also some of the biggest challenges we have been explained by here are building the right team, managing operations, finding customers. Okay. So I pick the highest as building the right team. Okay, right, great. So let's proceed. Thank you for that response. It shows me that now we are clear on what strategy is, and we can move to the next thing, which is the business landscape review. So even as you're developing a strategy, there are specific things that you need to factor in, right? You need to understand if now that we are all, majority of the business here have already been established in one way or the other, very fair in idea stage, but even at idea stage, you still need to do a review. You need to look at your internal analysis, your external analysis. This is prior to doing the strategy session, because you want to understand why are some things working the way they are working, and you want to be very true to yourself and in just understanding, okay, what has influenced whatever has worked, what has influenced that has not worked. And so when you talk about the business landscape review, we are talking about internal analysis and external analysis, correct? So for our internal analysis, we are not going to do this right now, but this for you is to take notes and see that this is what you need to go sit down and then figure out. So we'll use the iceberg theory. Perhaps some or others might not have heard of the iceberg theory, but the iceberg theory, we don't know what an iceberg is, right? Up kwa ocean, we just see the top of it, but what you're saying is below, the depth runs too deep. Yeah, this is a situation where now we would find maybe a cruise ship has been stuck in the middle of the ocean because there's we thought it was just a small iceberg, but there's no understanding of the depth that it goes. So just using the iceberg theory, we focus on the top here, which is the events. This is what everyone sees. Yeah, this is what's visible to everyone. That maybe you could say, I don't have customers, or I don't have clients, or I keep having my team members keep leaving the business. I keep changing, or I have a higher attrition rate of my team. Yeah, that is what we could see. But the deeper question of what we are saying with the internal analysis, you need to understand what are the patterns or trends that are giving into that specific event. What has been happening over time? You want to look at maybe, for instance, if you have a high attrition rate, maybe the team has been feeling demotivated, right? Or maybe if you don't have clients, if your challenge, what you're seeing is that I don't have clients, maybe the patterns or behaviors that you could observe is that, maybe is it because that we don't go for clients, or is it because of, yes, maybe the economy and whatever we want to say. So you need to understand the patterns that are given to this that is already visible. And then you want to come even deeper and ask yourself, what is influencing that behavior or trend? Again, back to the example with the high attrition rate of your teams, you want to look at, okay, what are these things that we've been doing that are encouraging the pattern? Maybe, when people are feeling demotivated, we don't say anything, we do not communicate, we do not encourage, these are just some of the behaviors. Or maybe it's because people are working in silos and all that. Yeah, so those are the underlying structures. And then you want to also understand the mental models. The mental models refer to what are the beliefs that stimulate this behavior. Yeah, is it because people just assume that the business is going nowhere? Is it because people assume, is it because of the assumption that maybe your teams don't just assume that whatever you're selling cannot be bought in the market? Yeah, so these talk about the beliefs. And so even as you before you can even get into strategy as an existing business, you want to understand what is this that has been going on within my team, so that when you come to the question to ask, what is that worked for you? Yeah, you're not saying I got many referrals. Yeah, you need to look deeper and understand, how have you been getting these referrals? What behaviors have you been doing for you to get the referrals? What assumptions or what has motivated for you to get these assumptions? Because it's then at that point that that is what you need to build up on, or perhaps that is what you need to change. And then after doing the internal analysis, you also want to look at the external analysis. And we're saying use these Pestel factors. I will not get into this, perhaps you've heard of this, but Pestel factors, you're just looking at what are those political factors that are going to affect my business, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors that are going to engage or affect my business. But the most important part of this thing or this part is to develop a mitigation plan. What can I mitigate? How can I mitigate all these factors that come through? So once you have done your own analysis, internal and external analysis, we want to come back now to, for the poll question, we had already done it. So you want to come back now into understanding your business model. The business model is what we term as the basics of the business. Yeah, and it will be a part of our session 1 today. So what is a business model? A business model explains the value you are providing in the market and how you're going to generate revenue by providing that value. Okay, so again, I'll repeat that. A business model focuses on the value you're going to deliver in the market and how you're going to generate revenue whilst at it. Granted, there are other bits of the business model, say things like the partners that you need, your cost structures, your key activities and all that. But the primary thing is you need to understand the value you're giving in the market. And then you need to also understand how you're going to generate a revenue. And I should also add that this is the point where most businesses fail. Even those that say, economy ni mbaya, or it's just that I didn't have clients. Most businesses fail at this point of understanding the business model. So always reference back to the business model that you're using. And so for that, what will we use? We'll use just this small structure to guide with the business model, where we want to understand the jobs to be done, we want to understand the target market, and we also want to understand the value proposition and the critical success factors. So just on to the job to be done, the most important question to ask for this is, what problem are you solving in the market? What is that problem you're solving in the market? And a problem could be anything. So you need to be very, very critical in how you define the problem that you're solving, because it's in that definition that then you're going to ask yourself, are these services or products I'm offering helping to solve that problem? Yeah. Okay. So once you understand the problem, then that you're going through, then you need to ask yourself, who is going through this problem? Yeah, what kind of people are going through this problem? And just to mention that, when you're starting to think the kind of people who are mentioning who are going through this problem, you are talking about the target market. And of course, now you need to develop a value proposition for that. So quickly, let's just do a small case study. You are tasked. And for this, please put it on the charts. So you are tasked with turning around a restaurant business. Assume this is just a restaurant business somewhere in Nairobi. Yeah, and the business is failing, and you're being asked to turn it around. You are being given different options, and these are your 14 options. You need to pick your top 3, or your top 2. So if you could write in the chat, you have 14 options. You are tasked to transform this restaurant business. Which actions would you take first? What are the actions you take out of the 14? And let me add as well, you do not have any other information. You don't know why the business is failing. You've just been put there and asked, just help move the conversation that will restore this business. What would be your first 2 major steps? Please put it on the chat. When you will help me read them out.
Okay. Let's see what interventions we have to
Yes.
make this restaurant work. So
What
we
in
have
very, very, yeah.
one, we have higher experienced staff.
Mm,
That's Ashley.
okay.
Angela is saying that she would apply 6, 5, and 9. Antonina is saying that she would replace bad managers. Lynette is saying that she would hire effective salespeople.
Okay.
Lucy Jerry, 3, 9, 10. Osea Ogari, 4, 5, 10. Pauline, improve quality of existing products. Peter, hire effective salespeople. Antonina, get new financial investor with experience in the restaurant industry. Patrick, 1, 5, 10.
Replace bad managers, yeah.
Bulimu has raised her hand. Carol Stacy, 3, 4, 5. Karen, 3, 6. 3, 6. Get a new financial investor. Okay.
All right. So I
Karen,
see, Bulimu has raised their hand. Maybe they could just give us an overview. They could summarize or give input. So Bulimu. All right. Is Bulimu able to speak? 5, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, Bulimu, if you're not able to speak, okay. She mentioned 3, 6. Get new financial investors and then secure a good market. Seems majority of us are being drawn either to replacing bad managers, financial replacing or rather getting a financial investor. Oh, we have one started with 13, improve premises. Okay. Yeah. Majority of us are moving towards replacing bad managers and financial investors. Okay, so granted, all would be correct given the context that has been given. In this case, we have no information. And so this is how I'd like for us, or rather how I propose for us to be thinking about our businesses. Think about it as if you do not understand the problems that are going through. So when you're just analyzing or you're thinking, oh, my sales are, are low or things like that, your first mind from a strategic point should be geared towards the market. Yeah. It should be geared towards, do I have people who are going through this problem and are aware of the problem, can afford to pay for the problem or the solution that you are offering, and are also willing to pay. Yeah. So I'll repeat that again. We always gear towards finding a good market. We are often blinded by the things that are going on in the business. But remember, when we said the business model is the important part of your business, and part of the business model is to ensure that you have a good and secure good market. Yeah. We could say that, yes, let's hire experienced staff, but regardless of how experienced someone is, if they have no one to sell to, if no one is willing to purchase, yeah, no matter how experienced they are, the business will still continue failing. We could say let's work with maybe effective chefs, or let's renegotiate non-performing loan. You can still renegotiate, but you'll still find yourself in the same problem of I still don't have money to pay for the loan. And that's primarily because you do not have people, or you have not found people who are willing to pay for the services that you're offering. So regardless of whatever challenge you're going through the business, always first look at understanding if you have a secure and a great market. And how we've defined a great market is it is someone who is in need of the solution you're offering, someone who is can afford whatever you're offering, and someone who is willing to pay for what you're offering. So that is that. So that in mind, let's just look further into defining then what is this market. As I said, a market, a group of people that we've defined and the job they are trying to get done. So the job to be done is a concept developed from it's a long time ago. It's been in existence for a very long time ago, but it particularly became very popular once McDonald's, a store in the US, really raised this question. This store was trying to increase the sales of milkshakes, and I think perhaps I can you can allow me to play this video just to help us understand. I hope we have time for this. Boniface, please confirm that you can hear the video.
Your workflow with endless possibilities. Let's dive into some.
Boniface, can you hear the video? Please confirm.
Yes, I can. You can make it full screen.
Sure.
Big fast food restaurant chains in America, I don't know if you've heard of them, called McDonald's. They were trying to increase the sales of their milkshakes. And these are very sophisticated marketing people. And if you walked into their restaurant, on the board in front of you are the menu. And they actually have a profile, a demographic profile of the quintessential customer that buys these individual products. And so they have a profile of the quintessential milkshake customer. It turns out that Clay Christensen fits perfectly in that profile. Well, then McDonald's would invite people who fit that profile into conference rooms, and they'd give them versions of the milkshake that they're thinking of introducing. And they'd ask them, could you tell us how we could improve the milkshake so that you'll buy more of them? They would get very careful feedback from the customers. They would then improve the milkshake on those dimensions, and it had no impact on sales or profits ever. And so we convinced them that there's a different and a better way to think about this situation. That is, don't understand the customer, understand the job. And we said there's just got to be something out there, a job needing to be done, that is causing people to hire a milkshake to do the job. And we have to figure out what the job is. So one of our colleagues stood in a restaurant for 18 hours one day and just took very careful notes. What time did he buy it? What time was it when he bought the milkshake? What was he wearing? These are almost all males, incidentally. Was he alone? Did he buy other food with it? Did he eat in the restaurant or get in the car and go off with it? It turned out that about half of the milkshakes were sold in the very early morning. They were always alone. It was the only thing they bought, and they all got in their car and drove off with it. So to figure out what the job was that was causing them to buy these milkshakes, we came back the next morning, and my colleague and I positioned ourselves outside the restaurant so that as these people were coming out with their milkshake in hand, we confront them and say with language like, look, I got a problem with what you're doing here. What job were you trying to do that caused you to come here to McDonald's at 6:30 in the morning and hire that milkshake? And they would struggle to answer that, but we try to help them by asking, look, think about the last time you're in the same situation, needing to get the same job done, but you didn't come here to hire that milkshake from McDonald's. What did you hire? Well, it turned out that they had all the same job to do. And that is, they have a long and boring drive to work. And they just needed something to do while they were driving to be engaged in life and not to fall asleep. One hand had to be on the wheel, of course, but gosh, somebody gave me another hand and there's nothing in it. And I just needed something to do while I'm driving. They're not hungry yet, but they know that they'll be hungry by 10 o'clock. So they also need something that can just go boom and stay in their stomach for the whole morning. Good question. What do I hire when I don't hire a milkshake? One of them said, you know, I never thought about this before, but last Friday I hired a banana to do the job. Take my word for it, never hire bananas. They're gone in 3 minutes. You're hungry by 7:30. And another one said, if you promise not to tell my wife, I hire donuts maybe twice a week. But they don't do the job. They come all over my clothes. It makes my fingers gooey. They're gone too fast. Yeah, I hire donuts occasionally, but donuts, I'm sorry. I hire bagels. But they're so dry and tasteless. No. I have to steer the car with my knees while I put the jam on the bagels. And
All right, let me just pause the video right there. This is the link. You can continue watching it. But I hope you have had just a bit of what he was explaining on what happened with as they're trying to increase the sales of their milkshake. So just to give a rundown of that, they identified that majority of the milkshakes were being sold in the morning, and majority of these people were trying to go for a long journey. And so in this journey, they needed some sort of companion. So you realize that even maybe increasing different flavors, it will not necessarily increase the sales of the milkshake. But the things that they did was, you know, they made the milkshake thicker. They put, because they realized most people are coming in the morning and are traveling, they put a drive-through just to help easen out that journey. And so what you're saying here is you need to understand what the client is trying to do by getting your service or getting your product. That is what you're calling the job to be done concept. So look at this, say maybe something like listening to music. How people listen to music has transformed for years. Depending on our ages here, there are those that saw the gramophone record, there are those that saw the cassette, there are those that use the MP3, and currently there are those that even use Spotify, right? So you can imagine if you are in a business selling compact cassettes, yeah, the business would probably have died by now. But if you had focused on that people who are trying to listen to music, then you would have been at a better place. So that in mind, how you get to think about the needs or the job to be done just refers to the needs, is that they are stable and they do not change over time. People will always want to listen to music. They will exist independently of any solution. So you're thinking about the needs as the need to listen to music and not necessarily the cassette that you will use. So let's, when you're working on your business model, focus on the needs rather than the solutions. The solutions will come after you have identified that these are the needs, and therefore these are the solutions that I can provide. Why is this important? Because at the end of the day, a client needs a half an inch hole and not half an inch drill. So once you start talking about the drill, hizo ni story peke yake, you know, then they just want to see a hole. Also, whether you use the drill or you use a pencil or whatever it is that you use, granted, they'll just still need the hole. And so, and these are the questions then at this point you should be asking yourself. So write them down and you're going to answer what is the problem you're solving, for who are you solving it from. And the important task here is to think current and untapped, and then answer then what are the jobs to be done for them. Right, then after answering that, you need then to think about, let's think about what are the constraints of the client. Now, it is in the constraints that you get to then understand the value you're going to give a client. Yeah, are they constrained in time, in terms of time? Is it that they just don't know how to do this? Is their location, you know, the one defeating or preventing them from purchasing from you? And that's why we see things like the delivery business has become so loud these days, because they are addressing the different constraints our clients can get. So once you have identified the constraint, now you can develop your quick value proposition. And I hope I'm not going too fast, but you'll have a session for the Q&A. It's now that you get now to develop your value proposition. Let me just explain a bit about the value proposition. A value proposition is a client-facing statement that delivers or talks to the clients or tells the clients, your clients, more about what your business is going to do for them and how they're going to benefit it. So it is client-facing. It is the client should be reading it from their end and understand that this is how I'm going to benefit if I engage so and so. If I engage business X. Okay, so you want just to give you a guide on how you're going to develop your value proposition. A value proposition ideally should have a service or a product you're offering. It should focus on the target market you're focusing on, and it should also tell the client how they're going to benefit. Yeah, so something like we provide X to, you know, we provide custom luxury and premium furniture, in the example in the furniture business, to homeowner and commercial spaces, so that they can enjoy their space, they can relax and all that. So it's value propositions could be two. You don't have to have one. It just depends on the number of target markets that you have. So this is dependent on that. And so the value that you're providing in the market, it could be also be provided by other businesses. There is no single business that is, you know, extremely unique in the market. They are all sort of mixed up, and somebody else could be providing this service. So you just want to do a quick analysis of your competition, and two ways to always think about competition. We want to think of a direct competition. Look at an example of this. All these are different types of bread, but they have different values. There are those that are a bit sugary, there are those that are less sugary. Okay, so those are just direct competitors. But why would someone be taking bread you know, in the morning for breakfast? They just want to fill their stomach, right? They want to feel full. Yeah. So the question here, when you're looking at competition, don't just look at the same people who are offering the same thing as you're offering. You also want to understand how else can the client meet this need. For example, look at this. They'd be like, okay, I can still take some leftovers. I can still take some nduma, some sweet potato and some yam, and I'll still be full. So the need here is just to be full. So that's that with now the competition. But before I close, before I pause there, just one more question that you should answer with competition. Once you have just analyzed that, don't leave it at that, because still, bread is bread. Someone is still going to get full. You need to ask yourself this big question: how will you survive competition? And I'll tell you for a fact, in strategy, this is what separates two businesses. You could be doing the same business, but how you answer this question is what now will separate what you're doing and what your competitors are doing. So you don't want to skip this step. Yeah. All right, so very, very key step. And up until at that point with this, with this point, maybe I can pause and hand it over to Boniface to just take some Q&A or share some more information. But just to also finalize things, think about maybe how you're providing the value, think about how you position the brand. These are the things that are going to set you apart from your competition and help you survive. But for sure, do not skip this step. So Boniface, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Lois. Let's give a round of applause to Lois for such a wonderful presentation. Very detailed, very insightful, full of case studies. It is also the presentation where Karen wowed us with a very good flow of response and all other keywords that were on the screen. Yeah, it is also the session where a lot about value proposition has been discussed, competition, the milkshake video. Did you get anything from the milkshake video? So those are some of the, and I believe you have gathered a lot really from this session, and we would like to open it for you to share your questions. What do you think? Do you have a value proposition for your business? What is the challenge you are having to determine your value proposition? Any question that you think is relevant to that session, please feel free to ask. And now you may raise your hand, you may write in the chat box so that we can also hear your voice, or maybe if you have insights that you would share from your business, what you've seen, experienced, feel free to share. Do we have any reactions? Any comments?
Yes, I do see a hand from
Okay.
Karen.
The hand is from who?
I believe Karen, yeah.
Karen, you may ask your question, Karen.
Hi, thank you so much, Lois. The session was amazing. Personally, I have learned a lot. And maybe to add a comment, is it a comment? Yeah, let me just say it. On that last question, I know it's a question that we should ask ourselves and answer ourselves, but maybe just to share my insights on that, or of how you can be different from the other business. Like, yesterday I was in a session and I told everyone that, have you ever wondered why there can be 10 shops at one place, but maybe 2 of them, they are filled with a lot of people wanting to buy from them, and there are others that have rarely even one person who can buy from that shop. So I went ahead and told them that, and I'll tell everyone who is here, you can be doing the same business, maybe from someone who is also here, but what sets you apart is you're solving the same problems, you're dealing maybe with the same clientele, but what will set you apart is being unique. How you'll be unique is finding the problems or getting to know what the other person who is doing the same business as you isn't offering to the clients. So you'll get to go ahead and do your research. You have to work extra. You have to be extra you yourself. Your business has to be extra. So you just have to be unique in your own way, or even provide something unique in your services or products. It's just the same way that you can go to a supermarket, find the Sunlight, the Omo pack, and they have put there maybe a bar soap or a bathing soap. You'll tend to pick that product because it has a promotion on it. So be yourself first, and then be unique in your own way. Just find something unique that customers will come, clients will come running to you and miss the other person. Thank you so much.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Karen, for the added insights. This is the first round of Q&A, and for the first session, we're going to have another session and another Q&A. So we would like to make this session as engaging as possible and as relevant to you as possible. I think from observation, sometimes coming up with a value proposition is a challenge. You find that some organizations that are starting up, you start up as an NGO, then later on you are figuring out what exactly can I sell.
Yeah.
Those are some of the challenges that come up, and I think it would be a prudent time if those challenges could be still happening. Maybe insights from this session could be helpful.
Mm.
Yeah, if even competition, sometimes you want to do things exactly like what other people are doing instead of maybe becoming unique. Yeah. So any views, any questions that you could be having?
Gladys has also added that your personal brand or authentic and being authentic and unique is what maybe can set you apart.
I think then observably we are having a very advanced session where everyone here has mastered the heart of competition, the heart of milkshake selling, the heart of the heart of value proposition. That is very good, and I think great. Thank you, very great insights. Thank you very much. And I think that's a good place. If you have a question, if you would like a chance to add your insight or ask the question verbally, feel free to let us know in the chat. At this point, I would like to welcome Answer Africa so that we can have a presentation. Lois, you can take a sip of water a little bit before we get to the next session. So at this point, we are going to welcome Answer Africa. They are one of our partners in this webinar, and they've been doing a lot of great work as well on their end. And we would like to give them a chance to say a little bit about what they do and what they think we should do in terms of strategy. Karibu sana Answer Africa. We can welcome them with a round of applause. Let us welcome them in a good style, the style of welcoming a good partner. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. That is how we
Asante.
welcome a good partner. Karibu sana, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I've sent a request to the host to allow me to share a presentation, but in the meantime, I think um, everyone has had an amazing experience from Lois. That was very insightful, Lois, and I just want us to stretch a little as we wait for the host to give them, right? So wherever you are, in your home, in your office, by your desk, I just want you to stand up a little bit, stretch your hands into the air and wave to the sky, wave to the clouds. I know it's pouring on us and we don't want it. Maybe we need to tell it to stop. And then I want you to stretch down, below, yeah, and just get a little bit of relief and have a seat. Can go back to sitting down. Okay, good. Let me share my presentation. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Answer Africa. Give me a second. Sorry, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. But you could make it a full screen.
Yeah, let me do
actually
that before I present.
where you are headed is the right place to make it a presentation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
So I'm Michelle Wanja from Answer Africa, the COO as well as the co-founder. And what we are passionate about at Answer Africa is helping businesses start the right way, right from day zero. So right from the ground up. We love engaging with founders who are thinking of amazing ideas and they're not sure how to execute them, or early stage entrepreneurs who have just started and they just need to tighten, the strategy that Lois has been mentioning. We support founders at that level. So I want to introduce you to three types of founders that we really enjoy working with. So meet Kevin. He has a great business idea. He just loves that app that he's talking about. He knows it's going to be the next biggest thing, but he's not sure where to start, right? And what we do is we sit down with Kevin and using guidance on, market research, like Lois has mentioned, it's important that we actually know what the market wants. We help him build a minimum viable product. We help him have a roadmap to start his business, and we give him that support to make sure that he's well on his way to building his new brand. Then we also work with Naomi. So Naomi, she's been in business for about 3 years, still in the early stages. She started off well, but business is starting to slow. Nothing seems to be working, and she's not sure where to start. 1 month, she has all the orders in the world. The next month, everything is quiet. So with Naomi, she's struggling to reach the right customers, trying to figure out exactly what they're like the milkshake video. What exactly is that job that these customers need, and how can we get them to keep engaging with her business? So that's Naomi. I don't know if this sounds familiar to any of you, because I noticed from the poll about 39% of us are in that early stage side of business. And the last founder we love to work with in this experience is James. James has started something, decided he can do this on his own. He was able to secure some funding, but somewhere along the line, something didn't go wrong. And what we do is, with the Day Zero program, is we just sit back, evaluate what exactly happened, what job did we not meet with the market, and how do we reevaluate this and give you a kickstart for your business. So those are the three founders we work with. And I don't know if any of them sound familiar, but really, those are who we love to support when it comes to our Day Zero program. So we address their key areas of concern. Either they're slowing down, they're not sure where to start, and they just need the best way to kick off. So a little bit about ANSA. We've actually worked with 5,500 entrepreneurs across sub-Saharan Africa, and our goal is to actually reach 5,000 entrepreneurs by the year 2027. So it's something we're really passionate about. We're well on our way, and we'd love for you guys to be a part of that journey and get to experience what it is that we do. Because one of the things we saw, the data does not support. The data shows that early stage entrepreneurship is tough. It's really tough. Within the first year, 70% of businesses fail. Within the third year, 80% of businesses fail. So we want to make sure during that startup and early phase, we're able to support you and take you through a journey that builds your strategy in the right way. So we're looking at who we work with. We are sector agnostic, because strategy really is not about a specific business, it's about specific pain points. So we've worked with founders in retail, in agriculture, in fintech, in healthcare, in energy, in mobility, education, you name it, we're able to engage you and support you. So like I've said, we have Kevin, we have Naomi, we have James. You have a great idea, you have a bit of a hiccup, you're not sure where to start, you have a side hustle that you want to unlock. We really would encourage you to get on board the 2025 plan and engage with our track program. So we work a lot with Weld. We are partners, and we're able to support each other to build the output of this program. So they have great insights with regards to strategy and unlocking, the right value proposition, the right foundations when it comes to your business. So the track program is in partnership with the experts at the Sandbox. So Lois had mentioned in the beginning, right, that we are part of a community, and our goal is actually to work together and make sure that entrepreneurs thrive and they're able to access freedom at the end of the day. We want everyone to be able to, at some point, go somewhere on a beach and enjoy an amazing holiday while their business is making money for them, while they've scaled, unlocked many markets, and they're doing excellent. So we really do work together to support founders. So the first track we work on is what we call the mindset and the problem worth solving track, right? Mindset and problem. The milkshake video was quite brilliant, because what we say at South Africa is the fact that a business is actually we learned it from Kirinya, from Weld, that a business is a problem-solving unit before it is a profit-making unit. So in this track, we help you figure out what problem exactly are you solving. We like to say, is it a vitamin or is it a painkiller? Because if it's a painkiller, you're gonna want to solve that problem immediately. If it's a vitamin and a nice to have, it's not necessarily the space you want to sit. You want to make sure you're actually accessing the pain point of the customer and making sure that you're actually providing value for the customer, which is why Wild have an amazing value proposition canvas, and it's amazing. It's part of the journey that we go through with them. So what you get from this is a problem scorecard. So what's your business idea, and is it actually solving a problem? Is it actually making a job get done? And the other thing is what we call mindset. So the entrepreneurship space, there's 6% of you who are in idea phase, and it's amazing to get into the entrepreneurship space, but it's important that you have, the right mindset. You're about to go through an amazing journey, but also a tough journey. So we built this scorecard, we sit down, we review your strengths, your opportunities, and what we do is just make you aware of what you have as your strengths as an individual and how you can implement this for the better of your business. So that's what we tackle in this track, mindset and problem. The second track, which you can totally take separately, each of them can be taken on their own. And this track is focused on product market fit. It's all about innovating products that work, innovating products that are suited to your market. So I know we have some founders in this room. I've experienced some of your products. They're amazing. And this track helps you unlock, like Naomi, she's been in business for 3 years. She started off great, but suddenly things are slowing down. So how do we respond to market needs? Do we need to innovate? We support that process. Do we need to review your pricing? We support that process. We also support you to draft a 1-year plan, incorporated with pricing, because at the end of the day, we do want you to have a sustainable business that makes money. So the track 2 is all about your product and making sure it's differentiated, innovative, next level, and then your pricing to make sure that you have a price that actually works for your customers. You're talking to the right customer. So that's the second track. And don't worry, the Wild team will share this deck with you, and you can go through all the details and see what would work best for you. And the last track we have is what we call the go-to-market track, and it's all about telling your story in the right way. There's amazing brands in this room. You've been running for 5+ years. I think more than 50% of you have been at it for a while. And some of you may be at the stage where you need to just build more awareness, unlock new markets, discover the best way to form partnerships. How do you make the right partnerships? So in this track, we'll go through your customer journey as at now. It may be different from where you started. So how do we bring back your customer journey and just polish it for your market? How do we build a compelling brand story? I loved the video that Wild had in the beginning where, you're able to see a founder who's gone through their business. That's where we're at with this track. The partnership strategies, how do we unlock partnerships? How do we target them in the right way? And then, of course, there's a 30-day digital plan that will be a part of this track. And if you are at the stage where you need to create a brand logo, an identity, and guidelines, and work on your values and what you stand for in your personality, this can also be offered. So in regards to the 3 tracks, the format is usually a 1.5-hour virtual session where we get to understand you, your organization, and where you at in terms of the 3 tracks. So where you at in terms of your marketing and sales, where you at in terms of, solving your problem, where you at in terms of your pricing and your financials. That's what we do. The first session is all about evaluating. The next session is where we now work together with a team of coaches at the Sandbox, with a team of coaches at Wild, and we work together and we're able to build our plan. The third thing, a workshop to polish what we've come up with. One thing we're big on is to get information from the market. So after that first workshop, we do challenge you to go out there, get feedback, go to those milkshake customers and talk to them and ask them what exactly is this that is the pain point. Is this working for you? Is this a price that should pay? And then based on that feedback, we polish a product and we do offer a complimentary check-in 30 days after you've gone to market just to make sure that you're on track. And this is the that happens for all 3 tracks. So you have a virtual session, 2 workshops, and a complimentary check-in after 30 days. So the pricing is indicated on the screen. However, because of the 2025 planning workshop by Weld, we have a limited edition group package where we have 5 founders in the group, and you only get to pay 5,000 shillings, of course, plus VAT. So come together as a group of 5. We support you through the whole journey with the workshops, depending on the track that suits you best, and we're able to execute for you. So I will share a link in the chat section where you can sign up if you're interested in this, if you feel it's of value, and it would be amazing to be a part of your journey. So these are some of the brands we've worked with over the years. You can have a look at, go on Google, check them out, see the work that we've done together. And of course, we wouldn't have done this alone if we weren't part of a vibrant ecosystem that supports startups, like, of course, Weld International, the Sandbox, ASEC, and other partners in other countries. So if you're seeking to expand to other markets, we do have support in Ethiopia, Uganda, and many more. So it's been an amazing session so far. I'm really looking forward to the rest of it, to see what the rest of the journey is. And I'm really hoping that we can work together in the future. So thank you so much, Team Wild International, for giving us a chance to be part of, your amazing experience, and looking forward to the rest of the progress. So in case of any questions, you can leave them in the chat as well. And looking forward to hearing from you.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Michelle. Let us give a round of applause for ANSA and the kind of amazing work they are doing across sub-Saharan Africa in terms of supporting entrepreneurs to realize their full potential. Let us give them a round of applause, a good one. Thank you. What has just happened is something that is an opportunity for you. That session by ANSA is part of our exhibition opportunity that we have during our events. So your business can also get such a chance to talk about what you do to other motivated entrepreneurs and potential clients. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to proceed to another session of the strategy design, how you can design your strategy for 2025. By the end of this session, I am looking forward to being invited to many strategy launch events, so that the ideas that we discussed in the first session can be farmed up into a trackable document that leads to success and growth of the business. So right now, I would like to welcome our facilitator to take us through the final session on strategy design for 2025. Let us put our hands together and welcome our facilitator once again. Please let us put a round of applause. Yeah, let us send some reactions, please. Great. And also, as we proceed with the session, if you have a question, a perspective, an insight, or some feedback, please feel free to write on the chat box. We'll be very keen to note down so that we can ensure that your voice is heard, because your voice matters in this session. Karibu sana, Lois, take us through the other session, and you have about 20 minutes to do that, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great conversations. And what ANSA has just presented is also a great opportunity for you who's looking to grow in business. Perhaps you're starting out, you still are not very sure on what to do next. So this clearly is your opportunity. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. And on to our session 2. So you have your business model intact, you have checked on it, you have analyzed that indeed, I have something to offer in this market. Indeed, there is a problem to be solved in this market. And this is the solution I'm also bringing on board. Yeah, so you're great with your value. You have already identified these are my areas for revenue generation. So what next? Once you have your business model, a great step, but you're still not at the end. You need to start designing your strategy now for the next bits. And I think the best way I can just explain this is through through one of these quotes. This is where I'll start with explaining it, just a quote and one case study. With those two things, I can assure you, you'll figure out now how to develop the actuals, but you'll already have some form of direction. So on your screen, you're looking at a very, very famous person. Not sure if we know who this is, but I'll save you the stress of thinking. This is Bruce Lee, and he said he gave this one very important quote that I believe is or not only to be used in the field, but can be applied in other sectors. So he said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Yeah. So one who has practiced one kick 10,000 times can definitely outdo one who has practiced 10,000 kicks. And so using this, the kicks here are now what we are going to establish as our strategic points, our strategic objectives. So that is what we want to keep practicing. We want to keep improving what we are calling the critical success factor. Yeah, so the consider our critical success factors as the kicks that we need to improve or practice 10,000 times, because now this is what forms the basis of your strategy. This is what gets to design your strategy. Remember, we started from a point of looking at how do you serve. All of you are providing value. You have maybe 10 other businesses, and Karen mentioned it. You have 10 other businesses that are providing the same value, possibly even addressing the same constraints that you're addressing. Yeah, and you have answered your question. You need to answer that question before you can get to this part. How do I differentiate myself? And ask yourself, will this be enough for me to secure my share in the market? So your critical success factor refer to what then are you going to do internally, yeah, to give this client to deliver on your brand promise. If you said maybe we are going to customize, remember my furniture example, my furniture business example. If you say that we are going to, we are premium, we are going to offer customized, luxurious, furniture items, to these, high value homeowners and commercial spaces. Then you need, because that is the brand promise you're giving to your client, you need to ask yourself, then what do we need to do internally to ensure that we are always providing that? We are always meeting the need of the client. So I'll give an example. Consider this two airlines. Or consider this airline. This is information for one specific airline, which I'm going to let you know. So this specific airline has been voted, or rather was voted the worst short airline flying in the UK for 6 consecutive years in 2018. Yeah, and 70% of the 8,000 airline passengers surveyed last year said they would never, ever fly airline air again, for sure, But on the other hand, you see, this is just giving the negative connotations of the airline. But when you look at the numbers on the other hand, they carried 149 million customers. They did 2,500 daily flights. Yeah, they flew out to 40 countries, and their website was the most visited airline website in the world. Imagine being the worst, but your website is the most visited airline in the website. These are real facts. This is a real case study, and for this specific airline, I don't know if we have heard of this airline at all. They're very present on our social medias and all that. They're called Ryanair in Europe, and of that time that they were being surveyed and they were being voted for as the worst short-haul airline services, this they grew by 80%. Look at the revenue. The revenue grew from 5 billion all the way to 7.1. They moved from 81 million to 130 million clients. And you remember that 70%, said that they'll never fly. You can imagine that is just, only 8,000 were sampled really. If you were to sample more, perhaps definitely the number would be more. So even though people are saying, yes, we're not going to fly, their numbers, they're still experiencing growth. Yeah. So when you're thinking about critical success factors, think about this specific case study that I'm presenting to you. Because what this airline did was amazing. So they thought to themselves, there are so many airlines in the market. So how are we really going to separate ourselves? How are we going to survive the competition? So they decided we need to be, the most affordable airline that our clients have ever had. Yeah, we need to be the most affordable airline in the market. Yeah, so that is how they chose to separate themselves, how they chose to survive this, the tremendous competition in that industry. And so when they decided that that is indeed their brand promise, they went back to themselves and asked, how do we deliver on this promise? So they developed a critical success factor where they said, if we are to be the most affordable, we need to manage costs. Yeah, we need to manage our own internal costs. Therefore, consider managing your own cost or managing the cost as the critical success factor. Yani, for this business and this model to grow, we need to manage costs. Yeah, so that became their critical success factor, and they maintained that one critical success factor for a very long time. So you don't necessarily have to have one critical success factor, but the most important question is to ask, how will I deliver on this value? What this brand promise that I'm offering to my clients, this solution that I've come up with to meet these needs, how am I going to do it? Their own was to manage costs. Yeah. So what are your critical success factor? What do you need to do internally to ensure that you're always delivering, you're always on point, you're always in line with the market? Yeah. So that is the first step in designing, actually your second step in designing your strategy. Okay. So this is a question, again, I'm just giving you a structure of which that you're then going to go fill these answers, and with that you'll have your clear strategy for 2025. So then you have understood that, yes, for example, Ryanair said, manage cost is my critical success factors. So the next question you need to answer is, what key intervention or initiatives should that critical success factor include in order to create the desired change? What are these things we need to do within, managing cost that are going to help us create the desired change? So let me go back to the details that I gave prior. One of the key decision making, or one of the interventions or initiatives they chose to make, is that they're going to be a short haul airline, because short haul does not require a lot. Long haul ni ile yenye mnaenda mnakuwa na stopover mahali, there is food, there is a lot of bags people are carrying. Short haul is you're just flying to maybe Kitale, you're flying to Mombasa, something, 1 hour or something like that. So they chose, let's do short haul, because then that will reduce on our cost. That we do not have to spend on food, on accommodation and all that. So that is the first intervention they made of the critical success factor, which is to manage cost. Let's do short haul. But then when we do short haul, let's fly out to as many countries and to as many destinations or bases as possible. So economies of scale here. So they decided, okay, let's do 40 countries at the time. Let's do then 40 countries. They had 240 destinations, so that they can ensure that they're flying as much as possible. The next thing that they decided then to do was, let's get the same fleet. In this airline, you'd only get the fleet, Boeing 737, 8200 aircraft. Why did they do this? They realized, because we are managing cost, we need to to lower our maintenance cost. So let's have the same flight. That way we don't have to employ different special skilled or different skilled attendants, aircraft attendants. Let's do this because we can buy things in bulk, and we can cut ourselves a better deal. And then one of the other things that they said was that, okay, because we want to manage the cost and we want to be the most affordable, let's not use third party to sell the tickets. Let's use our website. Okay. That is how their website then became the most visited airline website, because people are going on there to buy direct flight tickets. Yeah. So those are what we are referring to here as the key intervention or the initiatives. So for every critical success factor that you develop, then you need to develop the initiatives, you need to develop the, or rather the interventions that you're going to take as pertaining to that critical success factors. Again, you don't want to have very many or too many CSFs, because you're maybe limited in your capacity, or your efforts will be very thinned out. Yeah, so you want to maintain at least 3. If you push it 5, don't go beyond that. Something simple, you can even pick your top 2. You can be like Ryanair, they just picked 1. Okay, so what then is the next step? You need to measure performance. Why are we putting this as part of the process? Is because majority of the strategies do not fail at the point of development, but they fail at the point of implementation. So how do you keep yourself accountable? What will be your key indicators? And for that, and maybe yes, we'll share this recording. We use the objective key results, a performance management tool, where we say, then you develop such a table and just say a very simple table. This is my CSF. These are my initiatives. This is the key. This is how I know I have actually made it. This is how I'll know this is my success. 15%, if I improve 15%, and then you want to answer the question by when. You want to answer who is responsible. Again, remember, if you're on your own, if you have very few team members, you need to allow them to take it up from very early on, so that you can create a sense of ownership, as well as what are the source of funds. What am I going to be required to contribute to each of these initiatives that I'm writing that I'll get to do. So that's just your sample to ensure that you're watching yourself, you're looking further into the implementation. All right. So right up until that point, there's just one last thing then that you'll need to answer, because now you'll have you have your business model, your value, your target market, you have developed your value proposition, how you're going to survive competition, you have your critical success factors, you have developed your initiatives, right? And you have already ownership, and these things have already been predetermined. The next thing, the last critical thing that your strategy again you should consider that your strategy answers is the question on client acquisition. A business can be defined as many things, but it's a very simple thing, that it's you're selling at a profit. That is what you're calling a business. You can have the most beautiful shop again, but if you're not selling and maintaining profits, then it can be a bit detrimental. Yeah. So you want to understand, how do you sell? You need the clients. So how is your client acquisition plan? Yeah. So your client acquisition plan answers the question, where are our clients most likely to be found? And remember to listen, target markets are very specific. So you don't want to say women, you want to say it is a woman of this caliber, or maybe it's students from urban areas. So don't leave it as just women. That target market might need to change. You want to say, if you're offering, like, again, back to my furniture business, you're offering to homeowners, you're not just targeting in that specific business, you're not just targeting homeowners, you're targeting high value or high networked women. So you want to be very specific on where you're going to find your clients. Also, you need to answer what is the best way to reach them. Are they on their phones? Are they in meetings? You know, where do they hang out? This is now the part where you get to understand your client and and that's why we are saying it's important that you're very, very specific. And then what should be our key message to our clients? Yeah, what should be, when we meet our clients, what are we going to say to them? Yeah, and I'll give an example of, something that ANSA have done. They have even given you or categorized, this is where you are. Perhaps you've already started the business and then you failed in the business and now you are frustrated and you don't want to repeat the same mistake again. Yeah, that is a very good or structured way of connecting with your clients. You want to show the clients, what situation are you in? How are you feeling? What situation would they be in, or how would they be feeling for them to come and purchase your service or your product, and then present to them now the solution. This is how, this is what I can do. And then you want to showcase progress. So what happens when I come and take up your product? What does that progress look like? And the progress can be either statistical or emotional. Case in point, I'll give a very popular example. When Coca-Cola are advertising, they are focusing on your emotion. They are showing you how happy you will be. They are showing you how, of a good time you'll have with your friends or your family. And then on the other side, when it is very statistical, you'll have especially beauty brands. They'll tell you maybe 40% of the 40% of your marks will leave. So, or will, will disappear from your skin. So you want your progress to be showcased either as emotional or as statistical. So definitely, this is a stage or a part of the strategy that you want to develop. And I've already given you now the client acquisition plan. So let's go quickly again. For this session, we said identify how you'll survive in the market, develop your critical success factor, develop interventions based off of your critical success factor. You want to also measure. And the last part, you want to develop your client acquisition plan, which is very simple as where are your clients, what's the best way to reach them, and what should be your key message. And with that, I think I'll pause there and over to you, Boniface. Before we can take the last poll question, over to you, Boniface. Yeah.
Okay, I've realized I was speaking on mute. Sorry for that. Thank you very much, Lois. Let's give a round of applause to Lois for such an amazing second presentation. If you can access the reactions section on the dashboard, you can share an emotion. As she said that Coca-Cola uses emotions to sell to us. Maybe now we can also send some emotions. Thank you very much. And I've also seen that there is someone who has already experienced Ryanair. So I don't know how many of us here might have experienced Ryanair. She had a very good experience there. So that session was essentially to equip us with skills on how to come up with an effective strategy. Could we be having any questions regarding how to come up with an effective strategy for 2025? Because as I had mentioned earlier, I'm very much available to attend strategy launches. It being January, we still have time to launch strategies. Yeah, so if you have any question about how you can come up with an effective strategy for your business, this is your chance.
Boniface, I really like what Karen has added, her experience on Ryanair. She's very correct, and she's given it in detail. If you could go to the read the details. Yes, they really do a lot of things. Yeah,
It's
they
it's
limit
it's
a
a
lot of things. They ask you to pay for extra, but
yeah.
in as much as you are angry, the point is you want to move from point A to point B at an affordable cost. Yeah.
Correct. Sure. And it seems Karen had a very good strategy to get to Ryanair. So let's have any questions regarding how to come up with an effective strategy for 2025. The floor is open. Do we have any hands raised, messages in the chat? What do you think? Are you ready to come up with the strategy for 2025? Do you have it already? Do you think something needs to be done in it? Okay. Let's see. Any questions? Any comments?
As we wait for that, can we take the last poll question? Quick one.
Okay, that's fine.
So tech team.
Great.
So the question is, how confident are you in achieving your 2025 business goals?
Great. Now, this is an interesting question. Very good. Let us see how much impact we're going to see this year. Because our goal is to see what we do being translated into actual impacts in entrepreneurs, businesses, and even their daily life. That's our main goal. So tell us how confident you are in achieving your 2025 business goals, including whether you have a strategy.
All right, great. So it seems from the poll, majority are very confident.
Wow, that's
And-
very good.
And we have 7% that say that they are somewhat confident, which is still a very good place to be in.
Yes. Do we have anyone who's not confident at all?
Yeah. So please reach out for any further information that you may need or any other support that you may require from Weld, Answer, TIE, yes, or Sandbox at large.
This is very good. If we have all of us here are very confident about succeeding in business this year, this is really great news. And we are looking forward to this has been a very insightful session. Thank you, Gladys. Thank you very much, Gladys. Yeah, feel free to give us feedback as well, even in the chat. What do you think the session was? Or how do you think we can do in the future? Now, we have reached a good point to wind up the session, as promised that we were to end at 1. I would like to thank you very much for dedicating your time to be part of this workshop. It's a great investment that you made, and I trust that the insights and knowledge shared here are going to be actually impactful in your business. Feel free to reach out to us through the contacts that are out there to follow up any support that you need to make your business succeed. I would like also to appreciate our partners and also recognize TIE Events and Wild International for putting this up. And 2 key things. This, as I mentioned in the beginning, is going to be a continuous program where now we have started on a broader perspective on how to come up with a strategy. Going forward, we're going to have sessions that are now specific into challenges, opportunities that happen in business. You'll find discussions around HR, financial management, and more. And so we encourage you to continue being part of this community as we make even more impact and discuss even more strategic interventions to make businesses work for us in 2025. Also, as you observed, Answer took a chance to tell us what they do and the opportunities that they have for entrepreneurs. That could be you in the next session. So feel free to also reach out for any exhibition opportunities that you have, because as well as we share insights and knowledge, we would like also to provide a platform for you to showcase to other people what you do. Because this community, I believe, is capable of creating a supportive environment for each one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to welcome Wild International to give brief closing remarks, and also give TIE Events if they have any other comments to make. Karibu sana, Robert.
Thank you so much, Boniface. That was such an insightful session. I have watched Lois facilitate sessions countless times, but every time I watch her one more time, there's something new that I always learn. So I'm really, really grateful for that session, Lois. I think for me, it would just to be reiterate everything that Boniface has mentioned. I would first just like to thank Lois for that insightful session. As I've mentioned, we always learn something whenever she's facilitating a session. To our partners, TIE Events, represented here by our moderator, Boniface, thank you so much for partnering with us on this event. For those of you who don't know, the TIE in TIE Events stands for Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. And you can see that they really, really embody entrepreneurship, just in the same way that that is embedded in their name. I'd also like to thank one of our sponsors, Answer Africa. I think you heard Michelle talking about all the innovative solutions that they offer and all the innovative things that they can help your business do. Answer Africa are not just pioneers in how they deal with SMEs and how they operate their strategy services. They're also pioneers for a product that Boniface has mentioned, whereby we'll be giving opportunities to SMEs, like the ones that are present here today, to be able to showcase their products. If you're in business, you know that marketing or being out there or being visible is a very, very important element in your business. So whenever we hold these forums, we'll be giving you opportunities to come in the same manner that you saw Michelle come in and just give us a detailed breakdown of what they do. Come, let us know what your business does, where you're located, how you can help businesses, and you never know. Someone within this venue or in this particular webinar or workshop, holding a workshop like this, you will see us mentioning that we have virtual exhibition spaces. Make sure you take advantage of those. When we say that we support SMEs, we don't just say it by words, we say it by action, by providing opportunities such as these. I'd also like to thank the backend team. I think at the beginning of the presentation, you saw an iceberg, and Lois was taking you guys through something called the iceberg methodology. And similarly, this webinar is like an iceberg. I think you've only seen the top bit of the iceberg, that is Boniface and Lois, but beneath that, there's a very, very, very big team, including myself, that has worked tirelessly to make this possible and make this a very seamless experience. So I just want to take some time and thank you all. To our audiences here, I want to thank you for making the time. If you're joining us from Nairobi, I know some of you may not be in Nairobi. It's a cold, afternoon. You've made time, moved away from your business to join us. We really, really, really appreciate you. We also appreciate the level of engagement that you've given us through this in this webinar or workshop. We really, really appreciate that. And we hope that you will give us another chance, or you'll join us for other sessions that we have planned for you. As I've been mentioned by Boniface, we will be sharing the recording for this session, so don't worry. You will have this in your arsenal of tools as you're trying to tackle 2025, so you can always refer back to this whenever you lose your way. Executing a strategy is not easy, so I think whenever you look back at this recording, it can serve as a guide as to where you're going wrong, and hopefully you can rectify and achieve your goals. We will also be sharing our calendar of events for this year. As Boniface has mentioned, we do have quite a number of events that are planned for this year, and we're really, really hoping that you can join us for them. So in the calendar of events, have a look at that. Mark your calendars for when the next workshop is coming up. And yeah, we really, really, really hope to see you there. Finally, before you exit, make sure that you leave us a review. We're going to put up a QR code on the screen. I'm sure you've also seen the link in the chat section. Please leave us a review. How was the session? Did you enjoy it? Didn't you enjoy it? Are you confident about? Tell us about how confident you are about undertaking your strategy for 2025. Anything. Those reviews help us be better. Those reviews help us serve you better, and hopefully through those reviews we can do better for you. So I think with that, let me just thank you all once again and wish you all a great afternoon.
Great. Thank you
Back to
very
you,
much, Robert.
Boniface.
Let us give a round of applause to Robert, representing the backend team. Yeah. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you can now leave at your own pleasure, and see you soon.